Welcome back to Broken Bobby's transformation page. In the late 80s, I became involved with drugs and would eventually become part of that lifestyle of trafficking, addiction, and violence. Over the next 20 years, I would be in and out of jail and prison. If you're thinking about trying something or you're dealing with addiction, your life don't need to go down the same path mine did. I hurt a lot of people, both physically and emotionally. These are my stories of how I transformed my life, and you can too. Welcome back to the channel. As you can see by the title and the thumbnail, this is the Woods versus Skinheads, San Bernardino County Jail. So this is probably around, this is the early 90s, and this is Glen Helen, which is at the time where they would send the sentenced inmates in San Bernardino County if you didn't get a prison term, basically. So let's dig into this a little bit. For the people that don't know the difference between a wood and a skinhead. A wood is like, I'm a wood, basically. I'm not somebody that isn't affiliated with anything, and like just a regular white guy, basically. Now, a skinhead is affiliated with somebody or some group, and there's a ton of different skinhead organizations out there. A lot of times, well, I mean, basically the name says it all. Like they have no hair, basically. And the thing is, now you could be a wood with no hair. I'll put up my picture here from when I was doing time. Like, I like to bick my head at that time too, because I don't know, I like to look. So now we know you got your woods, you got your skinheads, and they all fall under the white umbrella when it comes to doing time in Southern California or California in general. So, the fact that they went to war is a bit unusual. Now I'm not saying that it's never happened before, after that or before that, but it wasn't a common practice. Typically, we have each other's backs when it comes to stuff. So it was unusual for this to happen. Now, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, smash that like button, drop a comment, let me know what you think, and be sure to share the video. It really helps us to grow. We're coming up on 1,500 subs. Shout out to you guys for that. This channel is growing, and I appreciate you all. So when I was on the yard, I ended up in the hole, but when I was on the yard, there was a guy that basically had the yard, and his name was Big Mike. I believe he was from Fontana. Not 100% sure. He was definitely an IU Wood, though. And this guy, he was a biker type, let's just say. He was obviously a big guy, Big Mike, right? Probably 6'4", 6'5", 280, somewhere around there. Long, stringy hair, and, definitely with the business. And there was, the thing is, sometimes someone will land on a yard somewhere and it totally shakes up the program. And this is what happened here. There was a skinhead that had arrived, and I'm sorry, but I don't remember what his name was or what area he was from, anything like that. But you could tell this guy was somebody in that movement, because all of a sudden, these youngsters were up and they were getting their workout, and they weren't really doing that prior to this. Like, some of them would, but not all of them would. And all of a sudden, they're doing their group workouts. They're, doing their cadences as they're doing their workouts. And, things changed basically amongst those guys. So basically a power struggle ensued. The new guy that had arrived wanted to control the yard, and Big Mike didn't want to give up the yard. So, uh, there's a little bit of tension and stuff out there. And, not too long after this guy had arrived, basically, I put in some work and I ended up in the hole. And maybe a couple days after that, the alarm goes off. And, there had been some talk back in the hole that, something like this, may happen. And what happened is, excuse me, the Woods and the Skins got off. The Skins made a move on Big Mike, and a lot of the Woods jumped with Big Mike, and it turned into a melee on the yard. Now, this is a county jail. This isn't prison, so like it's not like there were hundreds of guys out there or anything. Typically we had decent numbers in San Bernardino County. There were a lot of Woods there, but the thing with doing county jail time is, as a Wood, you don't know what people are going to do, who's going to jump, who's not going to jump. Now, everybody's supposed to jump if something kicks off like this, but that don't necessarily mean everybody will. So we start, a wave of white guys starts coming back to the hole. And, we hear the word that, yeah, they moved on Big Mike, and, it kicked off. So they get him back. And the thing about Glen Helen is, if you're out there on the yard in the general, wearing blues basically at that time, there were like barracks that ran. There was a big day room, and then there was barracks. I don't remember if it was 4 or 5 or 6 barracks that ran down with either double or triple bunks on either side, and then a restroom in the middle. But the thing is, when you get put on a lockdown, when something like this happens, I've always been amused by being on lockdown in a dorm, because, if you're in cell blocks, they can put you in your cell and close the door and problem solved for now anyways. But when you're in dorm settings like this or barracks, they put you on bunk status. So, if some people feel slighted from the way the melee went or whatever, all they got to do is jump off their bunk and they can kick it off again. So there were a couple of waves of this, and, people who supported the skin that had arrived, and people that supported Big Mike. And there were a couple of waves of Woods that came back there. Not everybody gets rolled up when a riot happens. If they see you doing something, or, you have markings, or, like a black eye, or a bloody nose or something, or, you get split and you're leaking and you need stitches, you're definitely going to get rolled up and written up on that. But so a couple of rounds of this went by, and ultimately, when I got kicked out of the hole back onto the yard, like the situation was solved, and there was a skin that was calling shots on the yard now. So, I guess ultimately their people were willing to go take it a little bit further than the Woods were. It's not to say that the Woods aren't as strong as the Skins. Like it's all equal as far as I see. But when these riots kick off and stuff, and they go, they come off lockdown, they kick off again, ultimately it's not going to stop until everybody feels like they're satisfied with the outcome. Or either that, or one side doesn't have enough soldiers who are willing to kick it back off again to prove their point. So, yeah, that's what happened. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. Family, fitness, and freedom are the things that allowed me to move away from living this sort of lifestyle, and they can help you as well. Uh, Remember, it's just about making good decisions and not compounding bad decisions, which is easy to do when you're fighting addiction. So if you're new to addiction, welcome. I believe in you. You can do this. Today's a great day to start. And if you're not ready, and I get that some people aren't, just be safe and be smart in what you're doing. Don't burn so many bridges and do so much stuff that you can't come back from it. A lot of people think that, oh, I'll start at the new year or something. Some people don't make it to the new year. This addiction stuff is real, and it ruins families and it destroys people. And some people don't get a chance to come back from it. So I hope that everybody's doing well, and I hope you've made that decision to turn the corner if you are fighting with addiction. Like I said, I believe in you. You can do it. If I could do it, anybody can do it. So that's the story for the day. If you enjoyed this sort of content, be sure to subscribe. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Uh, you know, it's a interesting story. So, people may have different opinions. If you drop your opinion, definitely, I'd love to hear it. Share the video. It helps us to grow. And there are memberships available. You can hit that join button. I think they start at like $1.99 a month, and you'll get exclusive content and such. So, and we may be doing some giveaways. I'm still working on that. Haven't seen a YouTube paycheck yet, so I have to hit a certain threshold, and we're almost there. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody that's been watching the videos and joins me on the lives. You are truly appreciated. Also, I'm going to be going live later on tonight, probably somewhere between 8 and 10 p.m. California time. So be on the lookout for that as well. As I always say at this time, don't look at the mountain, just start climbing.